Hello and welcome back. Glad you've all tuned in, and I'm here with an update. So, there has been news that Prince Harry and his new chief of staff have parted ways. So, of course, I got in here just to set the record straight because I have been seeing how this is being covered as something that is so unusual, but in fact, it is something so mundane that does happen from time to time, not only in the Sussex's camp, but throughout others in their various fields. So basically, the article here says the Duke of Sussex's chief of staff, Kettler, has left his position after 3 months. He was hired on a trial basis, and the decision to part ways was mutual, with both sides agreeing it wasn't the right fit. Kettler, who started in his role just a week before Prince Harry and Meghan's official visit to Nigeria in May, also accompanied the Duke of Sussex on his trip to London to mark the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games. Based in Santa Barbara, California, Kettler was previously Chief of Staff and Head of Strategic Partnerships at the communication platform Cognition. And the news comes less than 2 weeks after Francia Marquez, Colombia's vice president and the first black woman to hold the position, announced that Prince Harry and Meghan would visit Colombia in the future. Dates for the trip have not been released yet. So yes, before we go into that, so now we know that Prince Harry is going to be seeking a new chief of staff. So it's not a big deal. As I've just mentioned right there, he and Kettler agreed that he was not the right fit for the position, and it was understood that he was still in the probationary period. And of course, even though he did accompany Harry to London for the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games, they must have decided overall that he was not, as they said, the right fit for the job. I'm saying this to go against that narrative in the press, where they try to put this reputation out about the Sussexes that they are unable to retain staff. And we know that they have several in their camp that have stuck with them for so many years. So yes, he was in a probationary time period and they agreed to part ways. It was mutual, and that's that. So now, as we look forward to Prince Harry and Meghan planning to travel to Colombia soon at the invitation of Vice President Francia Marquez, we know that by that time they probably will have someone who is better in line with that position and who will be a suitable replacement for Josh Kettler. And I do find it quite fascinating, by the way, when we look at how some outlets covered this news, which would be just a run-of-the-mill thing. It's how it's blown out of proportion, trying to frame it like Harry and Meghan have, as one article put it, they had a, quote, history of facing challenges in retaining staff, end quote. And that's not so. People hire and they part ways, other people fire, and it's just run of the mill. I'm sure if many of you look through many celebrities and people who are in high profile positions, if you just go through their hiring history with a fine-tooth comb, you'll find that so many of them have had people on and let people go, and it's never a big deal. And it is quite interesting when you note some of these outlets, how they cover Harry and Meghan's staff, whether they're hired or fired, that when it goes to the camp of whom they consider some of them their faves, sometimes we don't get to see the fine-tooth comb covering of people, who are staffed and those who leave on their end. It's just quite crickets on that segment. So it's quite interesting, and I think a lot more people are starting to see the unfair coverage that the Sussexes face, and it's becoming so apparent. And no wonder Harry has just decided to take some of these people all the way through the courts as well. This cannot just go on. It is so silly. But, of course, we know that sometimes the press do like to blow some things out of proportion when it comes to Harry and Meghan. Just look at how they've tried to cover the upcoming trip to Colombia, really highlighting the fact that the Foreign Office in London advised against non-essential travel to Colombia, trying to make it out to be this huge, dangerous thing. They have been trying to highlight how dangerous it is, in quotes, all to put a negative spin on Harry and Meghan going to Colombia, when in fact they're there to do such a great work. The Vice President of Colombia and Minister of Equality and Equity said in her statement, quote, "I am pleased to announce that Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, have kindly accepted my invitation to visit our beautiful country," end quote. And of course, some outlets trying to frame Harry and Meghan even going to Colombia as something that they themselves have put in motion, when in fact it is by invitation. So yes, it's quite interesting, some narratives that we're seeing just unraveling day to day. They were invited there. Harry and Meghan are doing well, and also people who try to talk about the finances of this couple. They can't be, quote, bribing everyone to give them trophies and to give them invitations. Come on, some of you, are you trying to say that Harry and Meghan are bribing now even government officials to have them invite them to places? We're seeing a lot of truth coming to light that Harry and Meghan are very loved, very honored. And when they're on that trip there in Colombia, they will have the adequate protection for them in place, not because of Colombia is quote unquote dangerous, but because that is just something that is standard for people in high profile positions such as Harry and Meghan. So their trip is going to be fantastic. There's going to be so much love on the ground. And I mentioned it here on this channel. Quickly, let's go through. Their visit will include stops in Colombia's capital, Bogota, as well as Cartagena and Cali. And Marquez said in her statement, quote, "In these vibrant locations, they will have the exceptional opportunity to engage with leaders, youth, and women who embody the aspirations and voices of Colombians committed to progress. In addition to these meaningful interactions, the Duke and Duchess will experience the rich heritage of Colombia," end quote. So it's going to be another fantastic trip. Harry and Meghan this year have been just doing amazingly. From the start of them going to Canada there for the launch to next year's Invictus Games held there in Whistler and Vancouver, on to them also having huge award events. Quite recently, the ESPY Awards, where Harry was honored and Meghan was there to support him. You know, it just more proof of the influence and love that this couple have that is so tangible on the ground, not the propaganda of the press. And even as the Duke of Sussex now looks for a new chief of staff who is a better fit for the role, it will just be another run-of-the-mill thing that they do in their positions as they're trying to get staff for their charitable and production projects. They have no challenges there. It's just something that happens. People join, people leave, and it doesn't have to be a huge thing. So I'm glad for those of you out there who basically on social media were posting that part where it was a mutual decision for them to part ways. He wasn't a great fit for that role. And, you know, Harry and Meghan, on their upcoming trip, we're going to get to see the love. They're going to interact with people. People are going to get to see them as they focus on protecting young people and raising awareness about the dangers of the internet for children. And one part of the trip, of course, dealing with women. And I cannot wait to see what more is in store for the couple. So the news in itself was not such a huge deal, but I'm happy here to give it some coverage for you, to put it into context. And we are looking forward to seeing what's in store for the couple. So share your thoughts on this news in the comment section below. As always, before we log off, allow me here to thank those of you who support this channel financially and shout out a couple of you here by name. A very special thank you to you, Diane Hawkins, who was one of the first, in fact, the first to show your support through Patreon. I appreciate you for the unwavering love and support that you've continued to demonstrate. You are such a blessing to all of us here. I love you and you are so dear. Thank you. And a very special thank you to Gary Adderley as well, who has been such a long time giver towards this channel. So faithful. You mean so much to me. I'm happy and blessed to know you. God bless you and thank you. And a very special thank you to those who gave through PayPal. Thank you to you, Martha Jones. May God bless you and yours. Thank you for giving time and time again, for going above and beyond. You are so valued and seen. Thank you for choosing to accompany me here on this YouTube journey. Once again, thank you to all who support this channel financially. And if you liked this update, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, and also follow on Twitter or X. I'd love to see you on there as well for more informal posts. Thank you all for watching. Let's keep each other in prayer and keep it here for more. And I'll catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.